Hi and welcome to the first video of two where I'm going to show you how I turned this picture into this one right here. So obviously I've already been out taking a picture of the dog and used my wide angle to get this kind of fun exaggerated perspective of him. And so I'm going to make two videos here. This first one is going to show you how to extract Cleveland or any object from a background, put him on a white background, and in the second video I'm going to talk through what I did with the gradient behind him to put the this green splodge behind him, and also to show how I did a little bit of liquify where I boosted up the size of his nose, eyes, ears, and turned up the corner of his mouth to make him look like he was smiling. So you can see the difference there. So I'm going to start with this image that I had. I'm basically going to run through everything I did, and we'll start with the extract filter. The first thing that I do before I do any extraction is to duplicate the layer. There's probably a keyboard shortcut for it, but you can go up into layer and duplicate layer. It just creates a copied version, and turn off the background one for now. Now in Photoshop CS4, which is what I'm using here, you don't necessarily get the extract filter, which is right here in the filter menu, unless you go to the Adobe website and download the plugin. It's very easy, it's free, but it doesn't always come with the program, so you might have to go do that. But it's a very useful tool, and this is how it looks when you press the extract button. You'll still have the use of shortcut keys like the Z button for the zoom tool, and you'll want to zoom in. Space bar still works as the hand tool to move things around. And I'm going to use my Wacom tablet and pen to do the work here. The B tool brings that brush tool in, and what you're going to do to work this extraction is to highlight edges where you're going to divide what you want to keep from what you want to throw away. And so you basically just draw the outline around. You might keep some whiskers and things, so you might do a little bit of highlighting of those. But basically it's just a quick tool to use to extract any object from its background. You can even throw a different background behind it or create your own background, which is what I'm going to do. So yeah, you might select some whiskers and things that you're going to keep. That little bit of tooth there that's sticking up, you need to keep that, and just select the whole thing. So I'm just going to keep rambling as I work. You can see this lower portion of Cleveland is out of focus. I was using about an f4, f5 aperture on my wide angle, and pretty much had to use that. I was already at a pretty sensitive setting, ISO 600 already, and just from the amount of light there was, if I'd gone in much tighter than that, my shutter speed would have been dropping. And I like to have a nice high shutter speed and make sure that he's frozen, since he moves around a lot. So I kept my shutter speed up and sacrificed depth of field there. Could have gone tighter, gotten more of this in focus, but this lower part of Cleveland isn't really relevant. Your eye is drawn to his nose and face, so it's just one of those trade-offs you have to make when you're taking a picture. The light's not great. I was really just doing this for the fun of it. I didn't pick any particular lighting, didn't pull out my reflector or bring my flash to it or anything like that. Just came outside in the sun, and I think he was in the shade, but in any case it was more a matter of just getting an exposure that I could use to play with my wide angle. Just really wanted to see how it would come out. So it's kind of fun, but really needed a different background, and that's what we're doing. So once you've created a big loop, a connected loop, you can use this bucket tool, the fill bucket, and fill in the middle, and that creates this highlighted area that you want to keep. Now you can hit the preview button, which wasn't available before, and it will do the extraction, but it gives you a little bit of time to work on it before it completes the extraction. So then you get these two tools. I don't use the cleanup tool a whole lot, the edge touch-up tool I should say. I use this cleanup tool, which is really just a matter of filling in the areas I really do want to keep and adding or subtracting. So on one level, without the Alt button held down, it just works as like an eraser, like that. If you hold the Alt button down, it brings more of your original picture back in. And you tend to want to keep more rather than less, because once you extract it, you can always erase it. If you didn't keep it, then it's harder to go back and get some from your original layer. So I tend to keep more and then try to come back and clean it up with the eraser after the fact. Obviously I want to get his nose just shaped in there just right, don't want to lose any of that. His other ear there, looks like I did get his whiskers, but I got a little too much of everything behind them, so pretty good there. Alright, so we hit OK and we've got everything. Now if you were to zoom in and take a look at things, you'll see that I missed some things on that cleanup because it's hard to see on a transparent background. The way to make life easy is to put that white background in now, so I'll create a new layer. That's Control-Shift-N or up in the layer menu, and I'm going to put that layer below Cleveland here, use the white paint bucket tool and hit fill. Now you can see a little better what I was talking about. Use the eraser, you can hit E or just hit the eraser tool there on the menu. I forgot to change my layers, so I'll go back to the Cleveland layer. There we are. Now if I use the eraser I can remove the little bits of the image that I don't want to keep, that didn't work out quite the way I wanted in the extraction event. And so then you just do a little bit of cleanup. I'm trying to keep his claws in it a little bit, but yeah, the pen makes this cleanup so much easier than using the mouse. It's almost cheating. But that's the extraction. So I'm going to stop the video here and finish up this cleanup because you've seen the extent of the extraction tool and what it really means, and the rest of it's just cleanup, so that's kind of boring.